Reawakening. Christmas in July? Only in your dreams. Or in this case, in the dream of one of the clients of our resident dream interpreter, Yvonne Cones, who shares that dream with us shortly. I am your host, Chris Mann. Welcome again to our dream interpretation podcast, Reawakening. This month, Yvonne again shares one of her clients' dreams. This dream involves a Hollywood scene, a swimming pool, an unstable aluminum Christmassy tree, and some very interesting imagery and symbolism. So stay tuned. This is a cool one, and we will check in again with Yvonne to get the subconscious scoop. Hello again, Yvonne. How are you?
Hello, Chris. I'm doing well, thank you.
Wonderful. Well, what do you have for us this month? Something from one of your dream journals, perhaps?
Yes, I picked one of my old journals. This one is from 94, and, I have dreams from lots of different people. This was a friend who is still a friend. I think I've known her for 33 or 4 years. Her name is Lynn, and she's a great dreamer, by the way. And her dream, this is from August of 94. She had a friend called Jane, and Lynn, in the dream, was with Jane and a group of people. Now, Lynn didn't know who these people were, but Jane did. They were all friends. Jane knew them. And they were all around a swimming pool. Now, the people were in swimsuits. Of course, Jane and Lynn weren't in swimsuits, and there was this very large, and this is how I've described it in my book, a large, pointed metal aluminum-type tree, which was reminiscent of a Christmas tree. It was unbalanced, missing two legs, and the two of them were trying to get it to stand up. Well, obviously it would flop over with only one leg. So there they were around this swimming pool, with stuff scattered around on the ground, clothes, different things. It wasn't very descriptive, but she just said there were different kinds of things scattered around. And that was pretty much the dream. But I want to give you a bit of background here because that's the interesting thing.
Yeah.
So Lynn was a writer, and she had been trying to get this book that she'd written published. And her friend Jane, lived in Hollywood, in L.A., in the Hollywood area, and was on the fringe of the film industry. She knew a lot of people. She was wealthy, and she had a lot of connections, but she wasn't really involved in the film industry, right in the middle of it, as it were. She just knew people. And so the two of them were trying to figure out how to get this book made into a script that Jane could produce or whatever, okay? And that was the idea that was going on at the time. So knowing that, so when it came to, I've had this weird dream, Yvonne, said Lynn, what do you think? And she told me the dream. This is what I wrote. I knew that Lynn had given Jane her book to read and use as a basis for a film script. The pool scene where everyone is known to Jane but not to Lynn is Hollywood, where Jane lives. The tree, which could be the purveyor of gifts since it kind of looked a bit like a Christmas tree, that's the script. But it's not complete at this time. Now, Lynn feels it may be missing two elements. That's the legs that are missing. The articles scattered around could be, what you would hang on a tree, could be gifts or material things available once the tree is steady. So we've got a project here which is not complete, and to make it steady needs something adding to it. And that's what I talked to Lynn about. So what is it that is missing here? All right. So let's have another look at that dream. Well, we have the swimming pool, all right? And to me, that was being in the swim, that phrase, in the swim. All those people were in the swim, but Lynn wasn't. And as a matter of fact, Lynn doesn't like that she didn't care for Hollywood and L.A. and so on. She's more of a nature girl, likes the open spaces and her yard and garden and so on.
Right.
The tree, because it had this sort of light metal feel about it, I suggested it could be symbolic of Tinseltown, another name for Hollywood, right? That kind of feeling that it wasn't a real tree. And I knew that would aggravate the heck out of Lynn because, like I said, she's a nature girl. She likes real trees and not fake ones. So she was like, this thing is not going well. There's something missing here. To get this right, we need additional help in some way. So that was the dream, and that was where I was coming from. What was missing was really up to Lynn and Jane to figure out, because they're the ones who were looking at the script and the book and the whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Later, years later, I know, because I read it, Lynn's book was published. The script never got anywhere. And she left. At one point, Lynn actually lived there in Hollywood, but just for a short time, and she came back to Texas and got herself into, the country. And that's where she is right now. And she's written another 2 books, and she's working on, editing the last one, I think. So that was her.
Wow.
Those were her babies. So that was the
Yeah.
dream, and I thought it was interesting how her imagination came up with the swimming pool. Those people in swimsuits were in the swim. She wasn't. She was trying to get help. It wasn't working. Things were scattered about. It was all scattered. It wasn't cohesive. It wasn't put together.
Right. I love your read on this, Yvonne. I love that you picked up the Tinseltown element of the aluminum tree. I mean, a Christmas tree is a giving tree in a way because it sort of bears gifts. But it sounds like this tree, as you said, was unstable. It was insecure, and Hollywood is often like that. And so she went on with her novels and had more success there. So she's more in her element now.
Yes, that's true. That's absolutely true. And there's another thing that just came to me that I hadn't put into the description. Lynn loves Christmas. She makes, her tree is very decorative, really. She likes to try new things out. She's into decorating the house, never mind the tree. So this would have been a big deal that a tree was not balanced and wasn't decorated and wasn't even a tree.
See, without someone like you to point these things out, the symbols, the imagery, and so forth, I would wake up from a dream like this and think, what did I eat before I went to bed last night?
Have that dream.
But it makes perfect sense. They were all in swimsuits. Lynn and Jenny were not. The tree was unsteady. Something was missing. The pool had water. Water, you always say, is life. But swimming pools, movie stars, that's a different kind of life. Again, a short dream, but you picked up sort of the storyline.
And exactly like you said, dreams, like the swimming pool, an enclosed space, not a natural lake or the ocean where you can swim freely, but everybody has to share that pool.
Yeah.
Hollywood is famous for its artifice. TV and movie sets seem real when we're watching them on screen, but they're often just false fronts. And there's really not a lot of natural rhythm and flow to human interaction in Hollywood, as in, quote, real life. If you're not that kind of person, that kind of schmoozy Hollywood person, you have to fit yourself into that world. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
Yes.
So I'm glad to hear your friend moved to the countryside and is writing her books. That's terrific.
Yes. She actually managed to fulfill what she wanted to do. I was very happy with it.
Fantastic.
And,
well, Yvonne, great stuff once again. As always, I thank you, and take care, and we will be in touch.
Thank you very much, Chris. You take care too, dear. Bye-bye.
Reawakening with Chris Mann and Yvonne Cones is a Rising Action media production, copyright 2019 by Chris Mann.